I would like to call this meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board to order. Present to my far left is Ed McGargy, a voting member. Present to my left is Ernie Angelos, our solicitor. To my right is Jesse Poynton, a voting member. To the far right is Gary Smith, our township zoning officer. And I am Jessica Vitale, the temporary board chair.
Yeah, we are short two members this evening, both our vice chairman and our chairman. So the role of running the meeting is going to the board secretary, Ms. Vitale, who is a voting member.
Jesse, will you lead us in the pledge?
Please rise if you are able. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
To the republic
which stands
one nation, under God, indivisible,
liberty and justice for all. Yes. Otherwise, we wouldn't be starting.
Our first case is Z2410, Brittany M. Warzak, Revocable Agreement of Trust, owner of 872 Penn Street, Bryn Mawr, PA, DC Folio 220500800200, who seeks a variance from the provisions of 182-707B to permit a partial second-floor addition of 562 square feet, which would require 3 additional parking spaces for a total of 9 required parking spaces, where only 6 existing parking spaces are provided.
Yes, that matter is continued this evening. We received correspondence from the applicant's attorney asking that the matter be continued. That was accepted. We are continuing the matter to the board's June 6th meeting. In addition, we did receive correspondence from council waiving, a blanket waiver actually, of all applicable time constraints for the board to hold the initial hearing under the MPC. So it's okay with the board. The matter will be continued to the board's June 6th meeting.
Our next case is Z2411, Jennifer Barrett, owner of 7 Gulfview Road, Ardmore, PA, DC Folio 220301011200, who seeks a special exception from the provisions of 182-802B to permit a building expansion of the non-conforming structure in regard to the front yard setback. Mrs. Barrett, are you here? You can come up.
We're going to have to swear in.
Okay. Should we do exhibits first?
Okay, do you have any exhibits you wanted to submit
Not
to the
that
board?
haven't been submitted already.
All right, so they're technically not part of the record yet.
Okay, so then,
So we have to submit them. So why don't we go through just quickly? And you said they were part of your application, right?
correct.
Okay, so typically what the board likes to do is...
I have another copy of it.
That's fine. Well, you're probably going to need it to be able to talk
Okay,
about it, right?
I mean-
So I'll take some copies. I have copies of what was submitted. What we'll do is the board typically gives applicants an A designation and then numerically, so A1 for Exhibit A1. So we'll kind of follow that setup. We'll take your deed, which has submitted Jennifer Barrett, premises 7 Gulfview Road.
Correct,
That's the deed to the subject property.
correct.
So we'll mark that A1. That's for purposes of granting standing. You own the property. You have a right to be here this evening. What else would you like to have submitted? I see there's a
The
plan?
Site plan.
site plan.
Right.
Okay, we can make that A2. There's a site plan of the proposed
Existing,
addition,
well, it's the
right?
existing and the
And proposed?
proposed
Okay, so it's an existing and proposed.
with the non-conforming notated on there.
Okay. And, yeah, I think that's it. Anything else?
I don't-
Okay, all right, so Exhibit
Hopefully
A1
not.
and Exhibit A2.
That's all I got.
And we'll admit them into the record if that's
Okay.
okay, Madam Chairman. Okay, so
Okay,
you want to?
All right, would you please raise your right hand?
sure.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth? Blanked on it. Nothing but the truth.
So
So
help me God? Yes.
Yes, thank you. And can you state your name and your address for the record?
Sure. Jennifer Barrett, 7 Gulfview Road, Ardmore, PA.
Thank you. Will you tell us a little bit about what you want to do?
Sure. So I purchased my house in 2007. There's been no adjustments made to my house since that point. Recently, we contracted with an architect to add what started as a homework room that became then another bedroom, and the plans that have been submitted to be permitted. The proposed addition is all within the setbacks that are in the zoning regulations, and also follow all the rules around the impervious coverage and all of those things. The issue, I guess, is that our existing house, the front porch of it, is too close to the street. So it's not within the 40-foot setback of the street. So and actually, the right corner of my house, besides the porch, is non-conforming. So, all of which haven't been adjusted. So that's the piece that we're asking for a special exemption on the front of the house in order to do the addition to the right of the side of the house, which is within setback, and all of the other requirements, within the zoning rules.
Jesse, do you have any questions?
Yeah, could you describe Gulfview Road? Is it a straight road relative to your house?
So Gulfview, where we are, is right off of Darby Road. So it's the first block that's in. My house, the start of it is straight, and then it slightly curves when you get to the next house.
And is it at this curve where the front corner of the house protrudes into the setback?
No, that's still the straight piece. The curving of the street really happens once you get to the, well, I guess it just depends on which way you're going. If you're coming off of Darby Road, it starts to curve on the right-hand side after our house, once you get through to our house. Our house is actually, the interesting piece is that our house is on a lot and a half. So what the previous owners did, I guess, was they took the lot in between the two houses and they split them. So there's actually a little bit more than a regular lot, non-buildable, because it's just a half a lot. So it's once you get past that half a lot that the street starts to curve.
I guess what I was just trying to clarify the record, since the record is words and we're looking at an image on A2, and what it looks like to me is that the front of the house is conforming when the road is, on the west side, on the left of the page, but as the road curves, the setback line
Comes back
slightly
in.
clips the corner of your house, and that's all that is over the front setback. Is that right?
The front corner of the house and the existing porch. Yep.
Okay. And as you described, your addition is on the side and will fit within the setbacks and area and bulk requirements.
Correct.
And is it a one-story addition or a two-story?
It's a two-story addition.
I don't have any other questions.
Ed, do you have any questions?
I have no questions.
And I don't have any questions either. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No.
All right,
If I may, just for some clarification, pursuant to our zoning code 182-802, which is the special exception area for pre-existing non-conforming uses and/or structures in an extension, we do allow for extensions of non-conforming structures. In this instance, the building itself is already pre-existing non-conforming, and what the applicant is proposing is an addition that is actually compliant with all bulk area requirements. And the only reason why they need this special exception is because of the fact that the building itself is already pre-existing non-conformity. And one of the requirements under section 182-802 is that in order to get a special exception, the extension has to be in accordance with the bulk area requirements, which this one does satisfy. Couple questions I have for you. It's obviously serviced by public water and sewer. Are you changing at all the characteristics of the neighborhood by what you're proposing?
No.
In your opinion, does the property substantially detract or will it harm any other property in adjacence, their use of their own property?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that you had criteria for a special exception, so, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we'll close the record, and a decision will be rendered either tonight or, oh, sorry. Is anyone here who received certified mail that wishes to testify? Anyone who received regular mail? But not to testify, okay. Any other residents of Haverford Township?
Did you receive certified mail in connection with this property? Yes. Okay. Do you have anything that you want to say or comment about it?
Okay. With that, I will close the record, and we will either render a decision this evening, and if we cannot, we will render one at our next scheduled meeting on May 2nd.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now, if the board renders a decision tonight, you'll get notice in the mail. It'll go out tomorrow, what that decision is. If it doesn't, it'll actually render a decision at its next regular scheduled meeting. We do happen to have a meeting next week, but it's a special meeting, so probably won't render a decision then. It will render its decision on May 2nd. If you want, and I'm sorry to kind of throw Gary out here, but if you reach out to Gary tomorrow before you get the letter, if you want to find out if the board rendered a decision, you can call him and he'll let you know.
I have Gary's email.
Yeah. You can, I'll let you know.
You're not here tomorrow. You're not here till Tuesday.
You can also find us on
You'll probably
YouTube.
get the notice, if they render it, you'll get the notice before Tuesday.
Gary's back. Okay, thank you.
You can also
Yep.
find us on YouTube.
Thank you.
You too.
The next case is Z2412, Jonathan and Valerie Mateo, owner of 400 Brentwood Road, Haverford, PA, DC Folio 2202 0005300, who seek a variance from the provisions of 182-206D7 to permit a 620 square foot building addition to encroach into the 25-foot rear yard setback. The existing non-conforming portico is located 15.7 feet from the rear property line, and the new addition will be located 14.8 feet from the rear property line. Jonathan and Valerie, yeah. So you submitted a package to the board. Which items would you like to mark as exhibits? For the case.
The drawing and the survey, I believe you have.
Okay. So we have sheet 1, which is the existing condition plan.
Yep.
We'll mark that
So that will be A1. And sheet 2 is labeled development plan, and that will be A2. Deed.
Yeah.
Right, and the deed will be marked A3.
You want to swear him in?
So I'll get it right this time. Will you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the whole truth? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Can you state your name and your address for the record?
Jonathan Mateo, 400 Brentwood Road.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about what you want to do?
We're looking to expand our house. We recently expanded our family. We had twins 6 weeks ago. And we additionally have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So if you're familiar with the Chatham Park area, the brick colonials are not the biggest, and the 3rd bedroom is very small. So we're looking to add to the back or the rear of the house to build another bedroom and a master bedroom as well.
Jesse,
So I know I have been speaking with the zoning officer in connection with this and looking at the plans that I noticed this evening. It looks like there's a current driveway, and I'm talking about Exhibit A1, which is the existing conditions. Looks like there is a driveway that proceeds kind of, I'll call it perpendicular to the house as an access point to the street, and then there's a drive parking lot towards the rear of the property, right? There's kind of a fence that actually goes through the middle of that at this point, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Per our code, requires 2 off-street parking places, and they gotta be 9 feet wide. At this point, looking at the proposed plan, which is A2, looks like that the new addition is going to be placed over top the existing drive and basically extinguish that existing drive in the backward parking area, essentially. Is that correct?
Currently, there's a fence there, so it's not, you can't park there anyway. We had a permit fence approved by the township 3 years ago. So currently, you can only park one car there.
That wasn't the question, though. The question was the drive back there. That's going to be is going to be extinguished, and the addition is going to
Yeah,
be placed over
yes,
top of it.
yep.
Okay.
I was just clarifying that it's
Yeah.
not usable right now anyway.
Do you actually have a copy of the permit for the fence?
I didn't bring it because I didn't know it was an issue, but I absolutely would have if I knew that was a concern.
Can you explain what your hardship is for purposes of requesting the variance?
Sure. We recently were a family of 4 and we're not expecting twins, and now we're a family of 6. So like I stated earlier, we're looking to expand the house for the addition of our 2 children. I also work from home, so space is very tight. I'm currently in our bedroom with a desk about the size of this, so this feels very comfortable to me. The 3rd bedroom that is currently there turns into a small office so that I can be productive and provide for my family.
Why don't we run through the actual variance request?
Sure, absolutely.
Because unfortunately, the need for additional space under case law is not a variance, is not a hardship for purposes of variances. So why don't I ask you this couple questions to kind of clear up? So are there any unique physical circumstances or conditions, including irregularity, narrowness, or shallowness of the lot, or any topographical or other physical conditions particular to the property that essentially cause you an inability to comply with the zoning code?
No.
Yes, excuse me. My name's John Smurga,
Well,
if you want to swear.
yeah, let's swear you in. Yeah,
I am the engineer who prepared the plan.
okay. So let's swear him in.
Actually, would you mind repeating that question? Because I don't know if I fully followed what you.
So in essence, there needs to be a physical condition of the property, whether it be a narrowness of the lot, shallowness,
Oh, yeah.
other things
Yeah, yeah.
where it precludes you from developing the lot in
Yeah.
accordance
Got it.
with the zoning.
Understood that now. Thank you for
Yeah.
repeating that. It being a corner property, our back is with the 2 front yards essentially. And the back is very shallow compared to any other house in the area that even some corner lots directly across our street are not set up the way we are. So the back is extremely shallow, which, doesn't allow us to have the proper space to put an addition onto the house.
And you purchased the property that way?
We purchased it with that portico. My neighbor, who we share a driveway with, has been there for 25 years. I chatted with her. She has the same exact portico, and she said it's been there since she's owned the house. So yes, we bought it 5 years in this June.
Are there any other houses on your lot or your street, either side, that has a similar addition to what you're proposing?
Actually, we have neighbors just down the road that are in our exact situation that had twins. They had 2 girls, had twins, and we're using the same builder, same architect, and doing essentially almost the identical addition.
I don't recall another, another application.
Can you swear me in?
Yeah, let's.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
And can you state your name?
My name is John Smurga, professional engineer. I'm the one who prepared the plan. SMIRGA.
I'm assuming, I'm sorry, I'm assuming the applicant would like to have you be qualified as an expert in civil engineering, is what I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
So why don't you, if you could, for the board to qualify that, could you go through your educational background, your licensing, your criteria?
I have a bachelor's of civil engineering from Villanova, 1964. I have a master's of structural engineering. I have a MBA from Wharton School, Penn University, and I've been doing civil engineering for 60 years.
You ever been qualified before a zoning hearing board before? I figured as much. I'm satisfied that the engineer is certified, can be qualified as an expert in civil engineering.
If you look at the lot itself, the lot starts out at only 100 feet deep, 108 feet deep, but the rear line and front line are actually converging. So by the time you get to the edge of the house that this addition would have to go into, the lot is well in excess of less than 100 feet. And you got 55 feet of yards. You got a 30-foot front yard and a 25-foot rear yard, which basically makes the building envelope the house, with a little bit added, and so if you look at the addition that's been there for many, many years, if you go look at the construction, I don't know if it was contemporary with the construction of the house, but it's not long after that was put on. The new addition is basically the same size, it's about a foot wider, so we can put foundation down and be outside the bound of that existing concrete. So when you look at that, the hardship is the size of the lot. We're within the zoning for percent covers and all the other bulk requirements except for the rear yard. And we're only going to exacerbate the rear yard nonconformity by about a foot. As far as cover goes, we're adding 10 to 20 square feet because it's going to be basically the size of the square foot area right now. So he's not increasing the size of the of the cover, and we're going to, like I said, exacerbate the nonconformity by about a foot to allow for a footing.
And I think I missed my chance to submit another exhibit. I don't know if there's opportunity to still do that.
Sure.
So I just wanted to, I took some pictures that I think is a little bit of a clearer picture of this space that is already there that we're just building that exact.
Yeah.
These will be A4.
So for the record, it is a single page of two photos. One is an aerial of the property. The second is a ground shot showing the existing conditions with where the proposed addition will be relative to the setback. Was it A4, correct?
Correct.
You mentioned the parking. There is actually an 8-foot easement on the deed that between them and the house to the adjacent to them, they share that 16-foot wide driveway.
Now, you mentioned the fence and you couldn't use the driveway. You actually put the fence there, correct?
I did 3 years ago.
All right. So for purposes of acquiring the code, you somewhat created the own blocking of the driveway to park there by putting the fence up.
Sure.
So,
Approved by the township to do so.
well, fence permits, they don't usually require, and you'll speak to Gary, I know he's not the code officer, but I don't think they typically require surveys or anything along those lines. Just basically come in and ask for the
I did have to submit a former survey.
survey.
And pictures of what we were doing.
So, a little different than the zoning.
Understood.
Yeah, our code still requires sufficient off-street parking, and that typically is in that back area and not stacking across, the
There is
8-foot
There
access,
is enough
shared
room to
access.
put 2 parking spaces in the rear yard. And it would fit 2 9-foot spaces side by side, would fit.
In that instance, I'm assuming, I don't know what your impervious coverage is, obviously that would potentially increase it would increase the impervious coverage. It might not be over the limit. And it would likely further increase the encroachment in the rear yard setback, right?
Right now, total coverage allowed is 45%,
Okay. So you're probably under that.
which 45% of a 7,400 square foot lot is like 3,700 square feet. And right now, he's only at 2,000
Yeah,
square
so
feet. And we're
not
only
worried about
adding-
the impervious
We're only
coverage.
adding 10 square feet for the addition, So 18 by 18, roughly 20 by 20, it's only 400 square feet. So
But it would
percent cover
encroach.
would not be an issue.
Yeah, that's good. But it would further encroach in the rear yard setback.
Not parking,
Gary's parking structure
not a structure, it'll just be paving.
No, there is technically no offset
for
requirement
the parking.
Yeah, I've looked at that before,
Just
driveways
can't
and
park in
parking.
front.
Yeah, that's definite.
Yeah.
No parking in the front. Okay, so typically, what this board prefers, if they are inclined to grant it, they usually add a condition that the development be in accordance with the plans and the testimony and stuff submitted. So I think the board would likely, to be able to render a decision, would want to see revised plans showing what the proposed
Just so
rear
happens,
parking would look
I
like.
gave to Mr. Smith, I quickly drew in an 18 by 18 pad to show where it would go and the size. So if you want to take a look at that, I have submitted that, and I could date that and put a revision date on it and issue it as A3 or something. I can.
Gary, is there any,
Then I can then
from
formalize it.
from what you see, is there any additional requirement, relief needed?
Now, like I said, there is no offset requirement for the parking from the rear, so no, technically the spaces would meet the code, as long as it meets the impervious coverage, which he has ample room.
Well, if you want to present it, we can make it an exhibit.
Thanks.
I'd suggest that
So this will be,
you can certify it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the 18 by 18. And this will give him enough room to, obviously, he's gonna have to pull in and back all the way out.
Yeah.
Which he does right now, but it does fit. And I've even left some separation between the buildings. And this is 9 and 9, and it's 18 feet, which is your ordinance.
Yeah, so why don't we do this? We can mark this,
so this would be A5.
this would be A5, and put a revision date on it, yep. That's what I was gonna ask you. Why don't I pass it to you guys and see if you guys have any questions?
And obviously, he would have to come back if the variance is seen fit to be granted. He would have to come in with a building permit set, which I could then,
Yeah,
issue this as a part of the building permit issue.
Yeah, and they would require that, so it would build, so when you go through the permit section, yeah, do it that way, that would be fine.
Ed, do you have any questions?
I'm trying to figure out what exactly the common shared drive is that you have shown 8 feet, but
Well, there's actually, there it is right there.
But is
It's
that
actually 11 feet, but there's the 8 feet wide
is on his property, your client's property?
on this part.
Yeah, so,
And
but you,
there's another 8 foot on this part, which, but the driveway is only 11 feet wide. Common drive.
okay, so they share at 16 feet.
Correct.
Okay, so these extra lots are not going to be within this easement then? They start beyond that?
Well, the houses will be starting concurrent with the house, this corner down to that corner. Parking will be back in here.
Yeah, I understand that, but it won't, it'll be outside of this, so.
Correct.
Gotcha, that's all I have,
So it's outside the easement.
outside the easement. I'm good.
Jesse?
You described, for the addition, the proposed addition, you described it was another bedroom and a master bedroom. Is it a one-story or a two-story addition that you're proposing?
It's going to be 2.
2 stories. Did you explore looking at putting the addition on the, where it would not encroach into the rear yard setback? Where you have space towards Devon Road?
We didn't, just based off of the structure that was already there. We assumed that since it's been there for more than 2 decades, that we would be okay and be able to build where that already was, as well as many people in our neighborhood are doing very similar things.
And so, yeah, you mentioned that there's a similar addition on the same street.
It's not the same street, but it's just about a block away.
Is it also on a corner lot, or is
It is.
Okay.
They have a bigger setback directly out back, though.
Could you describe the exterior materials of the proposed addition? Will it be in keeping with the existing home and/or of the adjacent properties that have done similar additions?
Describe my addition?
Yeah.
Sure. It's going to be sided with a sliding door off the side yard into the Devon side yard. There'll be a mudroom on the driveway side, which will have an entrance. So when you get out of the car, you can get right into the house. There's be a mudroom, a kitchen, and a family room on the downstairs. And then the second floor will include, again, that extra bedroom for one child, a master bedroom, and a bath. And that really concludes with an attic, with HVAC in the attic.
And could you describe how the roof will be oriented? And the reason we ask is we always ensure that structures manage rainwater so as not to adversely impact neighbors. I can see in the bottom photo of A4, there's a downspout, and it's a single sloped shed roof that goes towards the rear. What would the roof form be of the proposed addition, and how would you manage the rainwater?
So the portico roof, you're right, it slopes towards the back yard. The new addition would actually slope in either direction with an A-frame taking the water towards Devon Road, not towards the back anymore. But essentially, the downspout would be almost where it is today.
And then there'll be an additional downspout on the driveway side?
Correct.
Is there one there now?
There is not.
Okay. But you would agree to manage that rainwater so as not to adversely impact your neighbors, meaning you're not going to be directing it towards neighbors?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Don't have any other questions.
And I don't have any questions. Do you have anything else to add?
Tell them about talking to your neighbors.
Sure. Yeah. So one of the big reasons we're adding the addition is because of the neighbors we have. So we considered moving because of the size of our family. We technically don't fit in our house right now. So we have 6-week-old boys that we're pending an addition so that they have a room. One of the big reasons for the addition, again, was to, give them a place to live and have enough space. Again, we looked to move, but with our neighbors, we decided that we wanted to stay, and we're on a group text with each other, and we, hang out frequently. And every one of them sent us a text message saying, "Hey, look what I got in the mail. This is exciting. We approve. We approve. We approve. Let us know if you need to come." I said, "Appreciate that. I think I'll be okay." But that was a big thing. I considered a letter, but I felt that if they did want to come and object, that they could. So I didn't want to pressure them into that. But ultimately, the addition is to expand for our family as well as stay with the neighbors that we currently live around.
All right, thank you very much. Is there anyone here who received certified mail that wishes to testify? Anyone who received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township?
You guys don't want to say anything? I got it. Practice. Doing a little digging.
So they support me is what they're saying.
All right, with that, I'll close the record on this case, and if a decision cannot be rendered tonight, we will render one at our next regularly scheduled meeting on May 2nd.
And Similarly, if you heard for the prior one, want to reach out to the zoning officer tomorrow morning, let you know if the board made a decision, and let you know what it is. Otherwise, you'll get a letter in the mail as to what that decision is. It'll go out tomorrow.
Okay.
Right, so you'll vote offline. and
They'll come back on. We'll come back on. It just may be, if we can do it tonight, we'll do it tonight. If not, they'll do it at the May 2nd meeting. The vote has to be in public, so we'll go and we'll talk about it.
Should we wait or go?
That's up to you guys.
I would like to wait. I'll stay as long as I need to.
Yeah, we'll have legal questions for Ernie, so
Yeah.
we'll go in the back.
We'll come back and let you know if they're going to vote tonight or not.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Great. Thank you for your time. I really
Yep.
appreciate it.
Jeff, we're going to go off the record.
We're good.
All right, we'll resume the meeting of the zoning board. With regards to case Z2411, Ed, are you prepared to vote?
Yes, I am.
Jesse, are you prepared to vote? And so am I. Ed,
Just for the record, that's 760 Gulf, or 7.
7 Gulfview Road, thank you. Ed, will you take that decision?
Yes, I will. I vote to approve the special exception. The addition should be constructed within 1 year of final approval. The addition should be constructed in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Jesse?
I agree.
And so do I. That case is approved 3-0. With regards to case Z2412, Jonathan and Valerie Mateo, owner of 400 Brentwood Road. Jesse, are you prepared to vote?
I am.
Ed, are you prepared to vote?
Yes, I am.
So am I. Jesse, will you take that decision?
Yes, Madam Chairperson. With regards to case Z24-12, I would vote to approve the requested variance with the following conditions. 1, rainwater shall be managed so as not to adversely impact neighbors. 2, 9 by 18 parking spaces shall be added per Exhibit A5 in the rear yard. 3, no fence shall be added to preclude use of said parking spaces. 4, the project shall be completed within 1 year and in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Ed, how do you vote?
I concur.
So do I. That case is approved 3-0. With those conditions. And then finally, we have received minutes from Ernie for our April 4th meeting. I believe we all had a chance to review those. There were no comments, and so I would make a motion to approve those minutes.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Right, the minutes are approved. Is there any other business?
No other business.
All right, with that, I will adjourn the meeting.